Today on Morning Drive, we have the 2017 Volvic World Long Drive Champion in studio.
Justin James has won the 2017 Volvic World Long Drive Championship.
He will show us the keys to his power in our simulator, plus hit the gym to show you how to increase your own power. The new PGA Tour season kicks off tomorrow. Will this be the year we see Phil Mickelson win again for the first time since the 2013 Open? Our experts weigh in. And we will check in with our travel expert Matt Janella live from Pinehurst, North Carolina to find out what they are celebrating and what it means for the future of the game. All that and more on Morning Drive today, October 4th, 2017. Welcome back inside Studio 8 p.m. Damon Hack alongside a PGA Tour winner and Robert Damron and a hot mess. Charlie Ryan.
I didn't do it. I don't know what you're talking about, Damon. It wasn't me. It was somebody else.
Good day.
I've been drawing on his papers this morning. He's angry with me.
He's quite the artist. How are you, Robert Damron?
I'm doing fantastic. Fine. Just excited to be here with you guys, talking golf.
Yeah, a lot of cool things happening on social media, viral videos. The NBA champs, the Golden State Warriors over in China. Check this out. This is from Lewis Hamilton of Formula One. That's Steph Curry trying to hit a golf ball with a helmet on.
Yeah, and what I'm going to tell you guys about this is, I get a chance to spend some time with Steph every now and then. He never played golf with a helmet on until that time he played golf with Damon Hack. And now every time he's got a helmet on.
I thought that was
That's your fault, David.
My fault.
I thought this was a scene from the first Star Wars where Obi-Wan put the blast helmet on Luke Skywalker. You remember that?
Yeah.
I think he could have shot 74-74
No.
on the web.com tour with that helmet on.
I'd say you're right about that.
All right, from NBA champs to major champs. That's what's happening now. Rory McIlroy back in action at the Alfred Dunhill Links Championship, coming off that runner-up finish last week at the British Masters. Has a great record in the Alfred Dunhill Links. He'll play alongside his father, Jerry. He has 3 runner-up finishes in this tournament, and the most recent back in 2014. So why don't we head out to Scotland right now and bring in Anna Whiteley from Golfing World. She joins us on the Golf Advisor phone line. Anna, good morning and good afternoon. How are you, my friend?
Good morning, Damon. I'm so well, thank you. It is bitterly cold up here. The Scottish wind is blowing, but it's such an exciting week on the European Tour, so we're really looking forward to it.
Well, Anna, give our viewers a sense of what they'll see this week. It reminds me a lot of Pebble Beach. You've got great players, you've got amateurs, and you've got a course rotation as well.
You've absolutely nailed it. So this is one of the most anticipated weeks of the year because it has this incredibly unique combination of some of the most fiercely competitive European Tour golf, but being played side by side with a celebrity pro-am. So for the 4 rounds, each professional is paired up with an amateur of their choice. As you say, Rory McIlroy is playing alongside his dad, Jerry. And whilst the pros compete in their regular individual tournament, just like any other week, they'll also be part of the pro-am involving their partner. So the best score on each hole from every pair is taken. So there's 2 bits of silverware up for grabs. But not only that, the 4 days, as you say, are rotated around 3 of the most iconic links golf courses in the world. Firstly, Carnoustie, who's hosted 7 Open Championships. Then, of course, the iconic Kings Barnes. And no doubt, the remaining days are all played on the old course at St Andrews. So we're at the home of golf, and the setting couldn't be more perfect.
Well, it's still a busy time in our game. We've got golf in Scotland. We have golf in the Napa Valley. I know you've been working the range and talking to players. What are they saying? What's on their minds right now?
Well, having been down here since Monday, there is no doubt that tongues were wagging about the sheer dominance displayed by Team USA last week at the President's Cup. I think what we saw was a real sign as to what they are capable of. And now, of course, we're under a year away from next year's Ryder Cup, and I've been catching up with European captain Thomas Bjorn recently over the last couple of weeks just to get his thoughts on how strong Team USA are. And he said, you know what, over his entire entire experience of the Ryder Cup, whether he's playing or as a vice captain, Team USA have always been this strong, and next year is no different. And he's incredibly excited about the European talent coming through with Tyrrell Hatton, young Englishman Tommy Fleetwood, and he's feeling really positive about Team Europe, despite the fact we've just seen the dominance of Team USA. So it's going to be a great fight, and Team Europe are ready to go already.
Well, speaking of strong, this field is strong. Anna, you've got five former world number ones in the field, including Rory McIlroy. I imagine all eyes will be on him. He hasn't had the season that he wanted to have. What are his expectations? What is he saying?
Well, you're absolutely right. I think the main point is that since his second finish last week at the British Masters, for the first time in a long time, those competitive juices, as he said, are flowing once again. And for a man who loves to win more than most, as we know, he's facing the prospect of his first winless season for 8 years. But being in contention last week as he was could have been the boost that he needed to be a real contender here this week in Scotland. And, you know, it's amazing what shooting a 64 can do to a man. So, as we know, this is the final event on the schedule before he signs off for 3.5 months from competitive golf. So we know he's going to take the time to fully recover from those injuries that have really burdened his season. So he's playing alongside his dad, Jerry, and they've been looking forward to this week all year. So it'll be a real special week for him to finish his season on. And who knows, the silverware could be in the bag this week. You never know.
Maybe he can finish the year with a flourish. Well, Anna, thanks so much for your time. Have some PG tips. Stay warm in Scotland, and we'll talk to you soon.
I'll do my best. Have a great morning. Thank you.
All right, Anna Whiteley joining us from Scotland, guys. Rory McIlroy, of course, playing this week. But let's look ahead to the 2017-18 season on the PGA Tour. Rory will be joining us eventually. What are your expectations for him? When he plays great golf, he's almost unbeatable. He's not there right now.
He's definitely not there right now. But I got to tell you this, guys. I still think Rory McIlroy is the most talented golfer on the planet. I really do. I think when he's got his A game, no one can hang with him. So what do I expect from him this new season on the PGA Tour, the new calendar year coming up next year? I think Rory's going to win the Masters. I think he's going to win 4 other PGA Tour events. I think he's going to be Player of the Year on the PGA Tour.
Why do you feel this way?
I think he's going to get to #1 in the world, and I think he's going to have a heck of a Ryder Cup. Here's why. If you look at this year, he's been injured. He's been distracted. This was the year that he got married. This was the year that injury was very, very nagging to him. As late as when I spoke to his dad, Jerry, at the PGA Championship, Jerry was saying, hey, you know what? He's still not 100%. You look at all the distraction that he's had to deal with, caddy situation, equipment situation. Over the past 18 months, there's been a lot of flux in his life. I think now he gets settled down, and I think he uses this year as being a very bad year to motivate him to move forward with the base, everything worked out away from the golf course, all the big changes in life and business all stabilized, and I think that's going to allow his talent to shine through, and I think we're going to see a huge, huge year from Rory McIlroy next year.
What do you think, Robert? A lot of competition up there.
Charlie said marriage is a distraction, so his wife's phone number is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I heard him just say that. I agree with part of what he said. Talent-wise, A game, he beats everybody on the planet right now.
Justin Thomas,
when
Jordan
he's clicking, he wins over everything. He wins by wider margins than anyone else when he wins. I think he wins the Masters.
You do too.
Otherwise, I think we're looking at a Sergio-type year because I looked at a guy after the PGA that was fighting his motivation. He almost didn't want to be there. He's still playing. He's looking forward to some time off. He's got so many trophies. He's done so much at his still pretty young age, but he doesn't have that green jacket. So that's motivating. Career Grand Slam is going to be just something that will put a cherry on his career no matter what else happens. But the motivation to do great things the rest of the year, it just didn't seem like it was there. Yes, he had some injuries, but I think that, you know, after that green jacket, which he's going to put on, we said it here, it'll be kind of more fun and sit back and enjoy it rather than kind of keep grinding it out.
If it weren't for being a Ryder Cup year next year. I think that's going to keep the
A
motivation
little demoralizing after watching the President's
Ryder Cup year.
or incentivizing.
My ribs are starting to hurt thinking of playing that U.S. team right now.
And Jordan Spieth's now one major behind Rory McIlroy. I imagine that's motivating as well. Speaking of major champs, that's what also is happening now. Phil Mickelson back in action after last week's great week in New Jersey, Jersey City, helping the President's Cup, the United States, to their 10th win in that series. He's back in Napa Valley. Of course, he became the all-time points leader last week, and of course a year ago shot 4 rounds in the 60s in Napa on the way to a tie for 8th finish. For a preview of what we can see this week in Napa Valley, we send it out to our good friend George Savaricas.
Some of the early week news and notes here in Napa, California for the PGA Tour's kickoff event for the 2017-18 season. It's been a hectic bit of travel for guys who are either wrapping up the Web.com Tour Championship, which had a Monday finish, meaning those recent graduates to the PGA Tour, then had to fly out and get in some work on Tuesday for the Safeway Open. On the flip side, there are some players who win the President's Cup who are now turning around and starting off their PGA Tour schedule. One of those being Phil Mickelson. Loves where his game is at based on his performance at Liberty National and is looking to get off to a fast start this season. Another player who won this event just 3 years ago, who we haven't seen in 2 years, that's Sang-Moon Bae, who just fulfilled his mandatory Korean military service this past April, has had a 2-year absence. Now he's getting ready for his first start back on the PGA Tour. He has a 1-year exemption granted from the PGA Tour for a major medical or family crisis, given that he had to leave the tour for 2 years. He told me his game is a bit of rust. He made one start on the Asian Tour in September, missed the cut, but he is more than excited to resume his career as a PGA Tour professional.
All right, George. Well, yesterday, Xander Schauffele was voted PGA Tour Rookie of the Year on the strength of a 2-win season, highlighted by his victory at the Tour Championship in Atlanta, the first rookie to ever win the Tour Championship. And as you can imagine, a number of fresh faces hoping to follow in Xander's footsteps this season, including this group of rookies. They include Web.com Tour winners, NCAA champions, and U.S. amateur champions. I'm speaking, of course, of Peter Uihlein of Oklahoma State University. Oh, to be young and innocent, Charlie. You remember those days?
Young, yes. Innocent, not so much. Peter Uihlein, watch out for him this season on the PGA Tour. So it's story time with Robert and Charlie now. And let's sort of go down memory lane a little bit. Our rookie years were a long time ago. Mine a little bit longer than yours.
Yeah.
Give me a good story. What's a great memory from your rookie year on the PGA Tour?
The craziest. Here I am. I'm full of enthusiasm and ignorance. That's what I got. An abundance of both of them. I show up at which was then the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic, now the Career Builder, and it's Sunday before because I wanted to get there early. I had to get there. Very few people wandering around. The equipment, the trailers weren't even set up yet. So I'm going to get a practice round. And a little known fact: if starting Monday, you have to take your caddy out, but if you're there earlier, you can take a cart out on the golf course. So I grabbed a cart. I go out there and play. I'm at Indian Wells. I'm sure you played there. First 3 holes I played, then there's like a little fork in the road in the cart path. And I took this one, and I'm out playing, having a big time. I get done. I played about 14 holes, and 9 of them were the wrong golf course.
I wish I could say that.
Part of the course that I'm playing. I'm just out there, and I'm hitting putts to green, chipping around like I'm mapping the course. We're not even playing that course this week.
Oh, that's really cool stuff right there. So for me, 1996 was my rookie year. My first tournament was a Sony Open, YLI, right there in Honolulu, and I teed off in number 10 on Thursday morning. I was paired up with Jim Furyk. I don't remember the third person in my foursome, threesome, which I'm sure is fine because they probably don't remember they played with me. But Jim Furyk, I made birdie on number 10. He made par. Is the last time I was ever one up on Jim Furyk in my entire career. And I'm sure it's one of the things that motivated him, Damon, to go on and become U.S. Open and become the Jim Furyk that we know and love today, being one down to the big timer after 1 hole in 1996. Damon, what you got?
I'll tell you what, my rookie year on the PGA Tour back in I didn't play on the PGA Tour, never mind. I'll stick to the tee sheet. Yes, tonight, Golf Channel features the best lessons ever. Phil Mickelson, short game wizard. We have a preview for you today that's going to help you with your short game. And speaking of short, how about Get Shorty, a great movie but also short courses. They're popping up all over the country. Where is one going to pop up this week? Matt Janella has a preview from the cradle of golf. And boom, 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 boom. The champ is here. Not Muhammad Ali. I'm talking Justin James, 2017 Volvic World Long Drive champion here. He's going to help you kind of get more distance off the tee, maybe 10 to 15 yards. All ahead on this Wednesday edition of Morning Drive. We got Dameron and Reimer unplugged. We'll see you in a little bit. By Rookie here on the PGA Tour.
Do it again. That's really
boom,
cool.
boom, 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 boom. The champ is here.
Damon Hack, ladies and gentlemen. He'll be here all week.